Welcome back, my name is LastKnownMeal and today I'm going to talk about ELEX. Now, for the past 3 videos I've talked about all the good things that this game has to offer, and usually people assume that I'm being paid to advertise this game, even though I state every time, no, I'm not being paid to advertise this game. I did get a key for this game for free, but at the same time I'm not obligated to talk about all the good things this game has to offer and just not talk about the bad things, because every single time I'm paid to advertise a product, I do need to clarify that at the beginning of the video, otherwise I'm breaking the law and I can be sued and all that kind of stuff, which I don't want to, and I honestly don't want to deceive my audience. So in this video I'm going to talk about all the problems that ELEX has, because the biggest problem that everyone is talking about is obviously combat. Even though it does have depth to it, and basically you do need some level of skill to fight against your enemies, against people, against various monsters, and this game is challenging. I'm not going to lie, this game is challenging, and throughout the map you're going to encounter enemies you can fight, and you're going to encounter enemies that are a lot stronger than you. And the main problem being combat is basically the fluidity that is lacking a lot. And when I say lacking, I mean it can be really stressful to fight a certain monster, because the AI is not the best in this game. I'm just going to clarify that straight away. The AI needs some work, because some monsters have a certain attack pattern, and they're not going to do pretty much anything that would make them act as monsters. Like, for example, if a monster is thirsty for blood, he's going to attack in a certain pattern. In this game it's not like that, and enemies can move really fast. Now, the main problem that I have is the auto lock system, which it can be really bad when you're fighting multiple enemies. Even when you're fighting like a single enemy, it can be a problem. But at the same time, when you're fighting multiple enemies and you're locking into one monster, and you go for an attack and you want to switch to another monster which is attacking you from the right side, it can be really hard to do that. And the fluidity is in combat, it doesn't just make the game harder. I have nothing against a challenging game. Honestly, I love games that give me challenge, especially in combat, but it makes all of those things illogical, because at the same time you're trying to make a game challenging, and you're trying to provide some level of combat animations and combat difficulty that every monster has, basically being an attack pattern, and at the same time you cannot really control your character and how he, faces enemies, because the auto lock system doesn't work that well. And especially what I noticed when I was fighting multiple enemies is switching between those enemies can be difficult, and enemies here can pretty much kill you in like 4 attacks, depending on the level again. And when you're fighting multiple people, oh, that can be a problem. Now, of course, the game gives you different things to use, starting from Jetpack you can use in combat. What I noticed is that the transition when you go in the air with your jetpack and use it to fight your enemies, and when you land, there is a certain delay when you land, like 1 second where you, it's not even a second, it's like, I don't know, half a second where you cannot move, and that gives you, chance to be hit. And when you're hit in this game, oh, it can be a problem, especially if the enemy is stronger than you. It can be a huge problem. So basically, it needs to have some fluidity. The transition between different animations and different attack patterns needs to be resolved for this game to really shine when it comes to combat. Now again, it's not that bad, but it can also make a lot of people just refund this game, because you do experience combat at the beginning of the game, and if someone doesn't like the combat and doesn't want to wait for a patch, and now it depends if they're going to fix this or not, it can basically, how would I say, it can alienate a lot of people from this game. And honestly, this game is great. It definitely gives you the Gothic feeling. It has soul in it. Decisions matter. Everyone you talk to, the level design, the character design, and how your character develops while talking with different people is amazing. But the combat needs some work. And if the combat was patched, if the combat was fixed a bit, it wouldn't be a problem to attract more people into this game. And honestly, that's amazing, because this is a really good RPG, and I advise everyone that loves a good RPG and is not yet sure either going to buy this game or not, I would wait if you're not 100% sure, because as I said, combat and animations and how there's a certain delay between some movements can basically make a lot of people angry. As much as I love this game, I've been playing this game a lot lately, sometimes when I'm fighting different enemies, especially stronger enemies, and I want to calculate every single decision I make, every single move I make, so I can prepare for my attack. The problem is there is a certain delay, there is a certain thing, enemies are going to attack in a really strange pattern, in a really strange AI logic. So yeah, that can be a problem. It can be really frustrating. So it's always difficult when I love a game so much to tell people not to buy it. But honestly, if you're not 100% sure that you're going to get used to this combat, I would wait for some patches, or you maybe want to wait for this game to go on a discount. But if you can actually adapt to this and wait for patches while you're playing the game, then there is no problem whatsoever. Now, hopefully a lot of things are going to be resolved in the future, and even when it's not auto-locking enemies, like camera movement and how your character moves can be an issue. He's going to stop for a second, he's going to start running for a second, and you cannot anticipate what your character is going to do all the time. So yeah, these are some of the things I don't like about this game, but I still believe they are going to be fixed. Something is going to be done about this, because everything else in this game feels so good, and how you go through the world, how you interact with different people is amazing. It's definitely a spiritual successor to Gothic, and at the same time, I want combat to be more fluid so that I would enjoy fighting enemies and not think, oh my god, is this going to cost me my life? Not because I made a mistake, but because the character doesn't want to move sometimes. And you're going to see in the gameplay I'm showing in the background that sometimes I'm going to do something, you're going to say, why'd you do it? But it's not me, it's the camera, it's the movement, it's how your character does things that just can really frustrate you sometimes. But I'm certain they're going to do something for this game when it comes to combat and fluidity in the next couple of patches. That will hopefully happen, because it will definitely attract more people into this game. So there you go, guys. I talked about some of the things I don't like about this game, and a lot of people are saying, yeah, this game doesn't make any logic, because you're going to stumble upon like some enemies in the same area which are low level, and enemies which are like high level, really premium enemies. That's usually a thing with Piranha Bytes game. You're going to encounter different level enemies like on the same place. In Gothic 2 you had like simple scavengers and wolves, but you also had like an orc standing in the same area. So the game is giving you a chance to go back to the same place when you level up, when you get stronger, so you can basically I don't know, just defeat the enemy that you couldn't before. And that's usually how Piranha Bytes games work. So that's not illogical, that's just how the studio develops their RPGs. You really need to think about your every move when you're going through the different levels of the map. So hopefully I addressed some issues for this game. Now, I still love this game so much. When these things are addressed, it's going to be an amazing RPG, and hopefully more people will get into this game. I've been reading your comments. I know that a lot of people are playing a Piranha Bytes game for the first time. I would advise going to Gothic 1 and 2, Risen 1. Gothic 3 is also great. It has problems. You need to download a community patch to basically play it and not get frustrated again, but still those are great games, and if you want to see the world itself, go play those amazing old games. They're great. You will love them, especially Gothic 1 and 2. It takes a while to get used to the controls, but when you do, it's amazing. And it's also, yeah, it's only available on PC, so it's not available on consoles. And that's it. This is LastKnownMeal signing out. Don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. Also, tell me down below if there's anything else bothering you. I didn't have any crash. Yes, I had one crash in this game, and that's about it. I promised I would report on crashes. I had one crash, and that's about it. Everything else feels good. I'm not getting any errors. I'm great. This is LastKnownMeal signing out. Don't forget to visit me up on Twitter at LastKnownMeal for more ELEX news, and that's it. Bye bye.